Hello everybody and welcome back to Dollar Tree Dinners, and welcome to the third week of just kind of use what you've got cooking my way through January. We have a wedding to attend this weekend in New Mexico, so today my priority is to use up some ingredients that I have in my fridge so that they don't go bad while we're out of town. So I had those 2 chicken breasts in my fridge and I really wasn't sure what to do with them. So I just boiled them and I shredded them. And as I was boiling them and shredding them, I was like, oh, I could make chicken salad out of them. I have, of course, mayonnaise. We'll do salt and pepper. I also have some cranberries in my pantry. And I have some chopped pecans. That might be a little strange in chicken salad, I'm not sure. I also have apples, and I have an onion that I used to make cheeseburgers the other night. But I think I'm gonna mince some of this for the chicken salad. So we're gonna kind of make this a really loaded up chicken salad. I've mentioned in the past that I'm a bit of a chicken salad purist. I really just like mayonnaise, salt, and pepper, but I'm trying to be more adventurous, so we're gonna doctor it up a little bit. Start by prepping some of my ingredients like the apple. Should I peel the apple? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it. So that's about half of a diced apple. The other half I'll probably just eat as a snack by itself. There is my cooked and shredded chicken. I'm not gonna go too heavy on the onion here. I might just do like that much of the onion just for a little bite. When I put onions in things like tuna salad, I usually very finely mince it, and I don't add much because it's going to kind of infuse over time, so the flavors will get stronger as it sits. So we'll play it by ear a little bit on the onion. Let me go ahead and add in some cranberries. Just a couple handfuls. Throw in some pecans. I bought both of these to potentially make a recipe at Christmas that I didn't end up making. So they're both just kind of in my pantry. And now we get to go in with the mayonnaise. I don't have any like lemon juice or anything to add to this, so. All right, for onion, I'm just gonna add a little bit. Again, it's gonna infuse, so that's like maybe a tablespoon of diced onion, very, very finely minced. And of course, we can't forget the salt and pepper. I did season the chicken. I actually boiled it in some chicken bouillon powder, so the chicken does already have some salt, not a ton. A little bit of pepper. Let's see what we're looking like there. And I think that's actually a pretty good chicken salad. So I'll let that sit until he gets home, and then we'll make our sandwiches. I was trying to think of a good side dish to go with the chicken salad. I also realized I still have 2 hamburger buns, so we're gonna use those up instead of just sandwich bread. And I was thinking about what I could do as a side. I don't really have much in the way of like chips or anything, but I do have 2 cans of ham and bean soup. I don't know, does that go with chicken salad? I mean, soup and a sandwich is kind of a standard combination, but these are really smoky. I don't know how well they're gonna go with chicken salad, so I don't know yet. So I ended up going with just a random assortment of like snacky things to go along with our chicken salad, and I did butter and toast the buns just so they're not like just dry and cold. I don't know if that's pretty common practice, but last time when I made the barbecue sandwiches, I just used the buns straight out of the package and they were not very good that way, so just trying to make that a little better. A little bit of lettuce and a nice hefty scoop of chicken salad. And that is our lunch today. What'd you think of my chicken salad?
That was really good. Really good.
Really good. He wants it to go on the rotation now, so that one's a winner. Tonight for dinner, we're gonna be cooking up these chicken legs that I thawed out. But I want to try a new technique that I saw online, which is where you make chicken lollipops. I think it's a really fun idea, and one of the big challenges with chicken legs is how gristly and tendony they are. So this version of cooking them cuts off like the Achilles tendon part of the leg. So I think that'll generally make them kind of easier to eat, but we're gonna test it out today and see how it works. Now I have watched a few videos kind of showing how to do this, but I have never tried it myself before, so I don't know how easy it's going to be. But essentially we're gonna be cutting off this bottom portion of the chicken leg. Most of what exists on the chicken leg from here down is cartilage, gristle, and tendon. So we're not actually wasting any like really edible parts of the meat beyond a little bit of skin. The knife that I'm using is probably not the best knife for the job, but this is my test case, so I'm gonna see how it goes. I think I need something a little sharper than that. I don't like using certain knives in applications where I'm like cutting up against bone because I don't want to dull them prematurely. Yeah, this is actually harder than it looks. Because here's that big tendon that I was talking about. I feel like this is one of those things that people make it look way easier than it actually is. I'm gonna try scissors next, see if that's any better. And then supposed to just be able to pull this part of the meat off, the skin and the tendon and all that. I've lollipopped all 8 of my chicken legs. I can say from like a first thoughts perspective is that this process is way more challenging than it looks on the surface. So I hope it works the way I want it to, but if not, I'm not sure that it's worth the effort, but we will find out. There are also like special racks that you can buy that like suspend the chicken up by the bone so that they just kind of drip down and they can roast evenly all the way around them. Obviously, I don't have one of those special racks, so we're just gonna work with what we've got today. Do you want me to fry the chicken or bake the chicken?
That is up to you.
Up to me?
Here.
I feel like I should try frying it. So, let's just see what happens. I have a little bit of flour left. Enough, hopefully, to do a light breading on this chicken. We'll just get that seasoned up with some salt, pepper, paprika, onion powder, and garlic powder. Do a quick dry coating on all the chicken. This is one of Michael's favorite dinners. When we first got together, he talked about how much he loved barbecue chicken, and he asked his mom for how she usually makes it. So I kind of make it the way she does, but with my own twist on it a little bit. So it's kind of like fried chicken coated in barbecue sauce. And I always try to reuse cooking oil whenever I fry things. So this is oil from when I made the orange chicken. And I just cool it, strain it, and then reuse it. For the sauce, I'm going to be doing a mixture of honey barbecue sauce and some chipotle hot sauce. This is one of those add to taste situations. This hot sauce is pretty spicy, so just adding a little bit. Again, taste and adjust. Add more, add less. If you make it too spicy, add more barbecue sauce to mellow it out. Or if it's not spicy enough, add more hot sauce to crank up the heat. I go for about 6 minutes if I can get the whole leg submerged, but if I can't get the whole leg submerged, then I do 10 minutes flipping halfway through. I usually set a 6-minute timer, and then I'll flip them and I'll let them go for like the next 3 to 4 minutes on the other side. Then I'm going to take the chicken and coat it in the barbecue sauce. And I will stick it in the oven so that it stays hot while the rest of it fries up. And since we're going out of town tomorrow and I need to use up some produce in the fridge, I just went ahead and whipped this up a quick little side salad. Just some iceberg lettuce, diced tomatoes, shredded carrots, cucumbers, and cheddar cheese. So that's it for tonight's dinner. We've got some barbecue chicken drumsticks with a side salad. Alright guys, this is Rebecca from the future, tuning in to say I really slacked off this week with how I filmed this video. I need to make it make sense, so I'm gonna pop in every now and then and kind of explain what's going on or what day of the week it is, because this kind of took place, this video kind of sort of started on the 15th, so everything you just watched was from the 15th. Today is the 27th, so that is 12 whole days. I did not cook every day of 12 days. 4 of those days we were in New Mexico. So we did New Mexico. We flew to New Mexico on Friday the 17th and we flew back on Monday the 20th. What you guys just watched was the chicken salad and the barbecue chicken. And I will say that chicken salad, fabulous. We ate that pretty much until we left for New Mexico. We exhausted all of it. The barbecue chicken turned out okay. The lollipop thing that I tried to do was a bit gimmicky. I feel like it did make it a little bit less tendony to eat. I feel like for the application that I used it for, which was fried chicken, it didn't really do much. It was an interesting experiment. I'm glad that I tried it, but I don't know if it's worth the effort. It brings us to Tuesday, the 21st. I just kind of rummaged our fridge and freezer. So first of all, we had corn dogs for lunch because I had some corn dogs in the freezer. I had not been grocery shopping yet. Pretty much the fridge is almost bare at this point. So dinner time comes around and I don't really quite know what I'm gonna do for dinner. So I start in my pantry and I see that I have spaghetti and I have spaghetti sauce. I'm like, oh, that's easy. We'll just do spaghetti. But then I ended up making what I'm gonna call spaghetti in the style of Hamburger Helper. And I will let voiceover Rebecca tell you how to make spaghetti in the style of Hamburger Helper. Thank you, Rebecca from the future, for that warm and welcoming introduction. Of course, we are making spaghetti in the style of Hamburger Helper, and first you need to go in your freezer and pull out a completely frozen pound of ground beef. We're also going to be using a jar of pasta sauce. I like the Prego Italian sausage and garlic, and some spaghetti noodles. We are, of course, also going to rummage through our fridge and see if there's any odds and ends we can use up, like this Parmesan cheese. I had some seasoning in my fridge. Again, this is not sponsored. I would just be a fool if I didn't actually use the things that I was sent to for free. And of course, we also have a backlog of chicken stock to use up, so we're going to use some of that up today as well. To get started, you're going to run your ground beef under some water in the sink until it's just thawed out enough that you can actually remove it from the bag and put it in the pot. Letting it brown completely on one side is totally optional, and then realizing that this is going to take too long if you try to do it this way, and then eventually adding some water to the pot to cover it with a lid, because that is the smart way to do this. In the meantime, you're going to grab an onion out of your pantry that is well past its prime, and you're going to cut off any of the not so nice bits. We're only going to use the parts of the onion that are actually edible for this spaghetti in the style of Hamburger Helper, and we're going to go ahead and finely mince that. Venturing back over to our ground beef, which at this point should be fully thawed and pretty much fully cooked. We're going to let some of that excess water, oh, it's not fully thawed, as you can see here. Oops. Well, it's almost fully thawed, and we're just going to break it up into little bits using this Dollar Tree meat masher, and hopefully some of that extra water will evaporate off because we don't want to add that to our spaghetti. Then I went ahead and tossed in the edible parts of said onion, and I think I also, oh yeah, I did mince up some garlic, so I think I had some garlic in my pantry I needed to use up, so we'll toss that in as well. Let those saute together for a couple of minutes just to soften up the onion and soften up the garlic, and then we're going to add in a jar of your favorite pasta sauce. It doesn't have to be Prego Italian sausage. That is my favorite pasta sauce. It's like $2. It's already got sausage in the sauce. And I know what you're thinking, Rebecca, you keep calling this spaghetti in the style of Hamburger Helper. So far it looks like you're just making spaghetti, but here is where the Hamburger Helper element of this recipe comes in. Go ahead and fill up that jar of pasta sauce with chicken stock, beef stock, any kind of stock, or even just water of your choice, and dump it in. This seasoning is really just a mix of Parmesan cheese and Italian seasoning, so feel free to add those in. As you can see, I'm seasoning it up with the seasoning. I also added some salt and pepper because the chicken stock that's in my freezer is stock that I made myself, so it is completely unseasoned. And typically you would salt your pasta water as you're boiling it, so consider this our way of seasoning our pasta. And if you are Italian, you may want to shield your eyes because the next step is to take about 2 handfuls of spaghetti and crack those right in half and dump them in. But also forget to film yourself doing it, and just think that this clip of you stirring the spaghetti will suffice to show that there is indeed spaghetti in the spaghetti. Anywho's, back to the hamburger helper element of this. You're going to bring this up to a boil, cover it, and simmer it for about 15 minutes, stopping to stir occasionally. I just want to mention at this point that I did not add the entire pound of pasta. 2 handfuls is about 8 ounces of pasta or so about half of a pound. After 15 minutes, check the doneness of your pasta. Let it cook a little bit longer if you need to, but then we're gonna finish it off by adding in some shredded Parmesan cheese. Again, I'm just using up some things I had in my fridge, so this is completely optional, but I thought it would add a nice richness and cheesiness to the sauce, and it definitely did. This one was a hit and we both really loved it. It was better the next day, as is traditional with any kind of spaghetti. The sauce is really thick and rich and it really coats the pasta rather than sliding off of it, which is why I like making it this way. Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday and I just got back from the grocery store. This is my first time grocery shopping in almost 2 weeks. It's actually been 13 days, but 2 of those days we were in New Mexico, so those don't really count. And at the end of that 13-day period, here's what we're looking like in the fridge. As you can see, it is quite empty. So brief little recap, still have some leftover orange juice. This is just some Hawaiian punch for the kids. I have this little fruit cup thing, a few cooking fats, so bacon fat, chicken schmaltz, stick of margarine, 2 eggs. I just thawed out some chili. I have some apples, breakfast sausage and smoked sausage, carrots and tomatoes, a smidge of deli ham, some American cheese, cheddar cheese, a couple of cheese sticks, and some provolone cheese. And then of course I have various condiments, coffee creamer, I'm out of milk, and some juice cups for the kids. And as far as the freezer goes, I have been making some progress on the freezer a little bit, not a ton. I've realized that I can actually stack these bags, so that kind of works out pretty perfectly. I still have chili, I still have chicken stock, I have ground beef, I have salsa chicken, and the chicken and rice mixture all in bags there. I took the celery and I froze it because I knew it was not going to be good for much longer. There's some pretty chopped celery for adding to soups and stews. And then there's the kind of ends and the leaves for making stock. Other than that, a lot of my cuts from deboning whole chicken, so tenderloins, giblets, and wings. And then over here, I just have some shrimp, chicken nuggets, a couple bags of vegetables, and some stuffed shells. I've been, for the most part, waiting until I am completely out of food before I go back to the grocery store. So this haul is going to be a little bit bigger. This is probably gonna last me at least 2 weeks, maybe even more. I do one round of the grocery outlet just looking for things that are 99 cents or less. So these are all my 99 cent or less items. This week we have 2 boxes of Captain's Christmas Crunch. We have these Everything Bagel Nature Valley bars, some Swiss Miss in the marshmallow kind, Fiber One birthday cake bars, these Taki waves in this dragon sweet chili flavor, 2 bags of penne pasta. I think that's just regular price, but I'm just lumping it in with the 99 cent items. We have this raspberry lemonade drink mix. This is Lidl brand. I got 2 packets of taco seasoning. These were 69 cents each. I got 2 packs of these little grape juice boxes for the kids. These were actually 50 cents each. This sweet and spicy wishbone honey mustard dressing. I got 2 cans of red enchilada sauce. I got 2 cans the last time I was there. I just picked up 2 more. I haven't used the 2. 99 cents is such a good price for that. I grabbed a couple extra. I got 2 of these cinnamon toast crunch cookie mixes. And then I got 4 of these large cans of tomatoes. I got 2 cans of tomato puree. And I had intended to get 2 cans of diced tomatoes. But as I was putting it away, I realized I accidentally grabbed 1 can of whole peeled tomatoes. These are the really large cans. These are 28 ounces a piece, so 99 cents is a really good bargain for that. So that was about $20 for all of that, which is not bad at all. Didn't get a whole lot of produce this week because I still have potatoes, I still have onions, I still have carrots, I have celery. So this week I just got some broccoli for the freezer, a bag of spinach, a head of iceberg lettuce, a bag of oranges, a bundle of bananas, 2 cucumbers, and 2 tomatoes. And just like last time, if I do not say the price of it out loud, I will put the price on the screen. I also got a red onion. I missed that. Now moving on to dairy products. I did get these yogurts at Safeway. These were on sale for 79 cents each. So it looks like I got about 14 of them. I just grabbed an assortment of flavors. We have a gallon of milk. They had this Land O'Lakes at the grocery outlet this week, and I've been wanting to try this for a while now. Most margarines are between 40 to 60% oil. This one is 80%. So it's the closest thing you can buy to real butter. I wanted to try it out. It was $1.99 a piece, so I just went ahead and got 2 of them this week. I also got us some sour cream and some cottage cheese, a dozen eggs, still expensive. This week I did get some feta cheese because I got that sweet and spicy honey mustard dressing. I thought maybe we could make one of my favorite salads this week. Michael's favorite coffee creamer was on sale at Safeway. These were about $3.79 each, so I did go ahead and get 2, as well as my coffee creamer from Grocery Outlet. For meat this week, I got 2 whole chickens. This one was $8.84. This one was $8.72. Gonna go through my whole chicken process on those. I got a pound of bacon, a big pack, 24 pack of beef hot dogs. That was $5. That was an incredible price. And then we got some deli meat. I got 2 of these honey roasted turkey and 2 of these smoked hams. These are 9-ounce containers and they were $1.99 each, whereas the 1-pound containers were $6. So it was cheaper for me to get 2 of each of these than it was for me to get 1 of the big ones. A couple of items I picked up for the pantry: a 5-pound bag of flour, a pack of flour tortillas, some vegetable oil, pizza sauce, and I forgot to include this with the produce, but I got a sleeve of garlic. Going into a few kind of odds and ends that didn't really fit into any other category. So for bread, we have hamburger buns, hot dog buns, and sandwich bread. These were all $1.49 each. Picked up 2 more things of crescent rolls, $1.99 each. Can make some more of those ham and cheese roll-ups, as well as a box of pancake mix. Got 2 more cans of these spicy Minecraft Pringles. These were way too spicy for the kids, but both me and Michael like these, so those are great. They kind of taste like really spicy pepper jack cheese. And then lastly, these were on sale at Safeway. This is the brand of coffee that I like to get, Folgers Colombian. These are usually $13.99 each, but this week they were $8.99, so I went ahead and got 2. And then last but not least, I did swing by Dollar Tree, and these are all items that I got at Dollar Tree. It's currently January 21st, somewhere around there, and the Dollar Tree's still empty. It hasn't really gotten any better. It looks like the fridge is starting to get restocked, but as far as the shelves, it's still pretty bare. So there's not a whole lot of stuff I can actually get at Dollar Tree currently. So this week I picked up 2 jars of pickles. I was out, so I figured I'd put 1 in my fridge and 1 in my pantry. Also got some ramen noodles. This McTrader is the new brand, so we're gonna test those out and see if they're any good. We got some Pop-Tarts for the kids, or Toast 'em Pop-Ups, 2 boxes of cookies and cream, and 2 boxes of chocolate fudge. I got 2 cans of seasoned black beans for my pantry. Those are excellent for taco night. I love those. And then this was just a little fun. I saw these red velvet cookie mix packets. These are new. I figured we could try to make some crumble cookies this week. So I got some cream cheese frosting and some marshmallow cream, so I could whip those together to make the frosting for the cookies. But we're going to attempt to recreate the crumble red velvet cookie this week using these ingredients. There's one extra thing I got at Safeway, which is my toothpaste that I was out of. It was not on sale. Future Rebecca popping in here real quick to say that that was a massive grocery haul. It is way more than I would usually get. I got 2 of a lot of things I would usually only get 1 of. I was kind of trying to take advantage of some sales. And I also needed to restock my pantry. The last couple of grocery hauls that I've shown have mostly been fridge and freezer items. And this time I got to the point where I not only didn't have any food in my fridge, but I also would open up my pantry and say, crap, what am I gonna make today? And when I get to the point where I open up my fridge and I have no idea what I'm gonna make, that's when I really need to restock on some things. And that's why I don't discount the cost of pantry staples or spices, because when you have to restock on those things, it can be quite expensive. So before I tell you like the total for everything, I just want to say that I did buy quite a few things that were non-essential, and I want to be transparent about these things with you guys. That's why I showed the entire haul, including buying like 2 containers of coffee, 2 coffee creamers, 14 yogurts. This seems excessive. These things will last me quite a long time. Each of those tubs of coffee lasts me about 3 weeks. Each of those coffee creamers will last me anywhere between 7 to 10 days, depending on how much coffee I drink in any given day. And I do slightly justify that price because I don't typically eat breakfast. Coffee is my breakfast. So I think those were kind of the only, like, I want to say non-essential things that I bought this week. As I mentioned, that margarine is not very good. I'm sure it's fine for baking, but on its own, it has a bit of a weird flavor. I'll probably stick with buying Blue Bonnet. I didn't have to buy things like the Pringles. I just thought that was fun. And those are kind of a one-off at the grocery outlet. I mean, I feel like this is a really standard grocery haul. I feel like there wasn't many things that I bought this week that somebody would be questioning, like, why did you buy that? So so I want to mention that before I give you the grand total. I am keeping track of all of my grocery purchases for the month of January. And that haul was $191.24. So that was, in my notebook here, I wrote like large restock / stock up. Because again, I did buy 2 of a couple of things in anticipation I wouldn't have to repurchase them later. So to break that price down a little bit further, I spent $136. It's a really long receipt. I spent $136.17 at the grocery outlet. I spent $38.74 at Safeway, and I spent $16.33 at Dollar Tree. Really hope that my Dollar Tree gets more inventory as time progresses. It does seem like they're moving things around in the store. It does seem like they're restocking. As many of you guys know, I am only in this house for 3 to 6 months. After that, we're planning to move somewhere else. Somewhere else. I don't really quite know where, but we are going to be moving off of this island. So this Dollar Tree dilemma is only for like 3 months or so. So yeah, again, that was a large grocery haul. It was a lot of money. In total, so far for the entire month of January, I've spent less than $400. In total for the month of January, I've spent $393.01. That does not include the few times that we've gone out to eat. That's just groceries. We are sometimes a household of 2, and we are sometimes a household of 4. It's really hard to kind of know like a per person average, but I am trying to keep our grocery costs around $10 a day. So if I spend $100, I try to make that last me at least 10 days. If I spend $50, I try to make that last me at least 5. In this case, I spent $200, but some of it was kind of a stock up. So I'll be happy if it lasts me about 2 weeks or so. Good morning, guys, or good afternoon. Today is Thursday, and I really have not done much in the way of cooking this week. We've been eating a lot of things from out of the freezer, using up some leftovers. We had the rest of the gumbo from the freezer. We ate some corn dogs from the freezer. I just took out some chili to thaw. Other than that, sandwiches. We keep things really simple around here. So if I ever don't show what I'm cooking, quite simply, it's because I didn't cook anything. I think today for lunch, we're just gonna do some hot dogs because I did get this big pack of beef hot dogs. Again, this is 24 hot dogs. They're all beef Franks. It was $5. I felt like I couldn't pass that up. And I love hot dogs. We haven't had them in a very long time. Still have some of those jalapeno chips, so we'll probably just have that as a side. Got those a little bit. I got a little extra char on those, so I like to kind of add some water and steam them, and then I let the water evaporate off, and then I usually sear them. That's a little more seared than I would typically go for. So now I am buttering and toasting our buns. And Michael likes cheese on his hot dogs, so I flipped them over and I added some American cheese to each one. I'll just let that steam until the cheese is melted. I'm a hot dog purist, so I'm just gonna go with ketchup and mustard on mine. There's Michael's hot dogs, American cheese, ketchup, mustard, and I did some of this hot and sweet, and some of this hot and sweet relish that I got from Dollar Tree. And then mine, just plain old ketchup and mustard. Sometimes I like to put some minced onion on it, but I don't feel like mincing onion right now. I feel like hot dogs are such an underrated comfort food. Here's what I've been working on today, because I've just been kind of quietly cooking in the kitchen. I made some more bread. I had a couple of requests for an in-depth tutorial on the bread that I made in my last video. So I made 2 loaves actually of this just to test out a couple of things. And the second loaf I wrapped up in some parchment paper and I delivered that to Michael's mom as like a gift. Here's some fresh baked bread. And then the second loaf, of course, I just sliced it up and stuck it in a container, and we'll have that as sides to go with a couple of things. While I went to Michael's mom's house to deliver her some bread, she passed along some beans that she made. So that's actually what we're gonna have for dinner tonight, is some beans and cornbread. So she said she made these with a combination of beans, pinto, kidney, black beans, great northern beans. She said there's ham hock in here, and she seasoned it with like a bunch of stuff like Dano. She threw some like Fireball seasoning in it. She kind of like ran me through the process, but we're gonna have her beans for dinner tonight. So in my last video, I also took some of that Dollar Tree corn muffin mix and I divided it into 3 containers. So I'm gonna use one of those today. I'll add in 1 egg and a 1/3 cup of milk and bake it in the oven just like I did last time. That'll be a side to go with our beans. There we go, beans and cornbread. And that is, oh, really?
The timing was impeccable.
That is the result of my red velvet crumble cookies. The icing is quite sweet because I did the cream cheese frosting mixed with the marshmallow fluff. I probably wouldn't do that again. It was just an experiment to see how that would turn out. What I will say is it does make the frosting really white and really glossy, which I like. It kind of self-levels a bit, but generally speaking, overall I'm like 7 out of 10 happy with these. I just feel like the frosting is a little overly sweet, and the cookies ended up a lot thinner than I would have liked. So usually I try to make them like little, usually they're a lot more mounded than that. If I can get it to focus. Focus! Focus! Alright, usually they're a lot more mounded than that, so these are quite thin, which also makes the icing a little disproportionate. But again, 7 out of 10 happy with these. I think they look super cute, and they taste pretty good too. Good morning, guys. It's officially Friday, so today we're gonna go pick up the kids, and we have them all weekend. They don't have school on Monday, so we have them through Monday. So I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna do this video through Sunday, maybe Monday, because I really haven't done much cooking this week. So there's not a whole lot to share in the way of meals. I say good morning, it's almost noon. I do have 2.5 hours before we leave to go pick up the kids. In that 2.5 hours, I'm probably gonna work on my chickens that are in the fridge. When I bought those chickens, they were frozen solid, so I couldn't do anything with them when I first bought them. It's been 2 days, so they're thawed now, and I should be able to deconstruct them. So that's pretty much my plan for the next couple of hours. Probably get some dishes done, debone the chicken, but let's make some breakfast real quick. I say breakfast as if I didn't just tell you it is noon, but like I've mentioned, I'm not a big breakfast eater. I'll wake up, drink some coffee. I am a lip biter though, so if you ever see anything going on my lips, it's just because I like gnaw on it. It's a really bad habit that I just can't seem to break, is picking at my lip, specifically that spot on my lip. As soon as like I feel like a little flap of skin, I just start picking at it, and I'll actually like pick it to the point where it bleeds. So I don't want you guys thinking I'm doing a fight club in my free time or anything like that, because definitely not. I think I'm just gonna have like a really standard breakfast. I have the bread that I baked yesterday. I have some eggs. I need to use up some bacon fat that's been in my fridge for a while. Bacon fat in your fridge will last pretty much indefinitely as long as you clean it. This one I did not clean. Currently have 2 pucks in my fridge, so this one has not been cleaned. It's still got a lot of the like little bits of bacon, but this one is a nice clean puck of bacon fat. So this one will last pretty much forever. I don't know how long this one will last before it like will potentially go rancid because there is bacon particles in it, but we're gonna use up some of it today to make some eggs. This is completely cold from out of my fridge, but I'm just gonna use a knife and kind of slice it a little bit so I can get some of it out of this container. Very nice old-fashioned breakfast. Rustic bread and eggs fried in bacon fat. I'm gonna be a bit of a fatty breakfast. Not like fatty, but like greasy. Because I went a little overboard on the bacon grease in that one, but should be delicious. I'm gonna add a little hot sauce to my eggs. Should have a nice, perfect runny, oh yeah, perfect little runny yolk. This one's a little more jellied, but got some crusty bread, let's smash them up. You guys know I like to, when I make fried eggs, I like to just smash them up. Get that yolk all like incorporated. Onto our toasted bread. The only thing that would make this better is like maybe some avocado. I guess I could put some tomato, like fresh sliced tomato, but I'm just gonna stick with the OG. I know I said I went a little overboard with the bacon fat, but I don't think I did. It's like the perfect like smoky flavor. So I just finished deboning my second chicken. Even though in my cost comparison I found out that there's not a ton of savings, I still really enjoy doing this process. I find it to be quite therapeutic almost for me. Just kind of getting into a zone and making every ingredient count. I decided to leave the quarters whole this week, so I'll probably do something with those. So of course we have 4 breasts, 4 quarters. So that'll be 1 dinner and that will be 2 dinners. So 3 meals out of those chickens right off the bat. And finally, after like I want to say a month and a half or so, I have a full bag of tenderloins. So we will use those next week. And I have 2 full bags of wings. So we'll also do those next week as well, I think. And we're almost full on our giblets bag, so I might try to put something on the calendar to try to make some homemade dog treats or something like that. I think that will be fun. But yeah, so next week we finally get to cash in on our bonus meals, our tenderloins, our wings. Again, I have 2 bags of wings and our dog treats. I do have barely enough time to get this stock going, so I'm gonna try to do that before we leave. It's 1:18 and we need to be out the door by 2:30 to pick up the kids. I did freeze the celery just because it was like on its way out before I went to New Mexico. I didn't freeze the carrots or anything like that because those are a little more hardy, so they'll hold up a lot longer in the fridge than something like celery will. There goes my celery, carrots, and onions. I like to create like a bed, so I don't have like a roasting pan, anything that kind of lifts things up off the bottom. So by creating like a bed of vegetables, it essentially creates like a faux roasting pan so that when I add like my chicken carcasses, they're lifted up off the bottom so they get a little bit more even contact with the heat, which gets them a lot more roasted and gets us a lot more flavor for our roasted chicken stock. All right, so we've got the kids, and as promised, we are gonna make orange chicken again this week, and I'm gonna share the recipe with you guys. I have gone ahead and written out all of the ingredients that you need and the measurements in case you want to pause this and screenshot it, and then I'm going to show you how to prepare the orange chicken. I'm going to start by preparing the chicken. I'm using 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is take my chicken breasts and we're going to cut them into about 1-inch pieces. I like to do this by cutting along, just kind of following the shape of the chicken first. Cutting 1-inch strips. Out of that breast, I got about 4 strips. And then we're gonna take each of those strips and we're gonna cut it into equal size cubes. Now, you are gonna wanna go a little bit smaller with these than you think. That's about the size that I do because they're gonna puff up as they fry. All right, now we're going to prepare the batter for the chicken. This is a wet batter. So we're gonna do a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of cornstarch.
You want the medallion? Okay. So what is what it does?
1 teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda. I'm just gonna use my spoon here to give that a quick little mix. And now we're gonna mix in 2/3 of a cup of water. And this is a little bit challenging to mix because it's kind of like oobleck. It gets a little hard at the bottom to mix it in.
Ow. How is it hurting me? Ow.
We're just gonna go ahead and dump our chicken directly into this batter. And then we're gonna use our hands and mix the chicken until it is all coated in that batter. All right, our chicken is well coated. We're just gonna kind of set that aside for a moment. Now the only thing I need to prepare to make the sauce is some garlic, and that's just because I don't have any like pre-minced garlic. But if you have pre-minced garlic, then you can obviously skip this step. I am only doing 1 clove of garlic. Normally I would do, for any kind of sauce, between 2 to 4, but this one is supposed to be a very mild and sweet sauce, so I'm only doing 1. And that's what I did last time, and it turned out really fabulous. So we're gonna very, very finely mince the garlic, almost mashing it if you can. Sometimes I do like to use the back of my knife and kind of press the garlic into my cutting board just to soften it up a bit. That works really great if what you're looking for is like a pureed garlic. When you're making the sauce in a skillet or a saucepan, it doesn't really matter what you use to make the sauce. You're just gonna need a separate vessel than what you're gonna be using for frying the chicken. You're gonna do 2 cups of orange juice and 1 cup of sugar. I have a 1/4 cup measuring cup, so 2, 3, 4. A 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I'm using the regular kind, not the reduced sodium kind. If you have the reduced sodium kind, you might want to add a little bit more just to taste. But 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I'm also going to add in my garlic. I always buy ginger paste because it keeps for pretty much ever. And so however much garlic you added in there, you're going to add about the same amount of ginger. And then we're going to whisk that to combine, and we're going to let it come up to a simmer. In the meantime, while it comes up to a simmer, you can mix 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with 2 tablespoons of water and just kind of get that set aside. This comes together super quickly. The most time-consuming part of it's going to be frying the chicken, just because I have to do that in batches. But once we're simmering, I'm going to add in that cornstarch mixture. Again, that's 2 tablespoons of cornstarch dissolved in 2 tablespoons of cold water. Dropped my whisk into my sauce. Let me go rinse that off real quick, just so it's not super sticky. And we're gonna let that simmer to form a really thick glaze. And I'm just gonna let the sauce kind of simmer over here for a little bit, keep it warm, and let it just kind of thicken up and reduce while we fry the chicken. So I guess that means it's time to get our frying pot ready. I'm using a saucepan. The smaller of a pot that you use, the more batches you're gonna have to do, but the less oil you're gonna need. So as you guys know, I do reuse cooking oil, especially frying oil. I clean it, I reuse it. You can reuse it 3 to 4 times. This has been used twice. And usually it's not quite enough. I do have to top it off with some fresh oil. So it's kind of like half and half. Use half old, half new, and you should be totally fine.
I'll look at this one.
Just a little way to save an extra couple bucks
Oh, crap.
because oil's not super expensive. This is about $4 and I use about half of it to fill up this pot to about the 1-inch line. But you know, if you can reuse it, you might as well. All right, I think we're about there. It's kind of hard for me to determine temperature in this new kitchen too. I struggle with frying temperatures, still kind of acclimating to this stove top. I think we're ready to go. We're just gonna drop in our chicken one piece at a time. I do somewhere between 15 to 16 pieces at a time. So that's 5, 6, and 15. Let that fry up for, we're gonna set about a 3-minute timer. And we're also going to try to break up the chicken, make sure nothing is sticking to itself. We're going to take out batch number 1 and let that drain on some towels or paper towels. Now let's start dropping in some more chicken. That's batch number 2. We're going to take that out. And then the secret to like ultra crispy chicken is we're going to refry the first batch a second time. Just to get it nice and brown and crispy. The second fry is going to take less time, only about 2 minutes or so. And you can see that color difference. So that's the first batch, so we fried twice. I'm going to let that drain. So I wanted to show you the difference. This is batch number 1 that we double fried, and this is batch number 2 that we've single fried. So you can really see the color difference there. And once all of our chicken is fried up, which took about 4 batches total, we're just gonna toss it in the sauce. And that is it. That's how to make orange chicken. That's the leftovers all packed up. We had it with white rice and some roasted broccoli that I seasoned with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. And there is all that's left because we all devoured it. I guess I'm no longer time traveling Rebecca. I am present day Rebecca. Today is Monday, January 27th. And you guys are pretty much all caught up. Let me take you through the weekend because the orange chicken I made on Friday. Saturday was a day that we called 90s Day. So we did Saturday morning cartoons. The kids had cereal for breakfast. We went to the mall and we walked around the mall for the day. We had lunch in the food court and then we took them out for a movie and we grabbed pizza on our way home. And we actually had enough leftover pizza that we had that for dinner Sunday as well. On Sunday, we had blueberry pancakes with bacon for breakfast, and then for lunches, the kids had chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, and Michael and I had chili cheese dogs. So that's pretty much the whole weekend. I was gonna cook dinner today, but I ended up not. Michael and I are just kind of doing a fend for yourselves night. We all had leftover blueberry pancakes and bacon for breakfast, and then for lunch we just did sandwiches. Kids had oranges to go with their sandwich. I had an apple because I had sliced one up earlier in the morning and I hadn't quite finished it yet. With their lunches today, I had them try this Modern Pantry chocolate milk from Dollar Tree. One said it was great and drank all of it, and the other said it was okay and drank half of it. So if you're thinking about buying this from Dollar Tree, I don't know, it's 50-50 in our house, but I have one left. But that is where we end off for today. We did vlog our weekend in New Mexico for the wedding, and we vlogged our weekend with the kids. And so my next video is going to be a lifestyle vlog video, just giving you guys a heads up. And I'm gonna be starting a new cooking with what you got video tomorrow. Kind of a teaser, tonight I'm gonna be sorting and soaking through a bag of Great Northern beans. So I think we're gonna be making some soup tomorrow. And I'll probably go ahead and start the process of baking a new loaf of bread to go with that soup, because as you can see, all I have are 2 little end pieces left. But that is it for today. That is it for this week's meals. I know it wasn't a lot of cooking, but I showed you guys what I could. Sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon.